So as I was saying, we're going to talk today about academic accommodations, about student support, les différents types d'examens qu'on a ici à la faculté de droit, le déroulement dans une salle d'examen pour ceux qui vont avoir des examens en personne. I'll also put up the schedule of our exam clinics, which are going to be online. You'll be able to drop in, ask your questions about how to use Examplify, EXAMSOFT. It'll be either myself, my colleague Astrid, or our colleague Nabil that will guide you through the process. We'll talk about exam codes, and then I will leave the floor to Brittany, who will talk to you a little bit about midterm grades, academic integrity, and just an overview of our wellness advisors. So for student support, if there's anything that you need, you come to us at the Student Affairs Office. You can meet us. You can set up a meeting through MS Teams, either with myself. Okay, so yeah, so if you need to schedule a meeting with either myself or Astrid or Brittany, our availabilities are on MS bookings. We will be adding additional drop-in time slots, so feel free to book time with us. If you are a student who needs academic accommodation through the OSD, you need to go through them and use their sign-up form. If you have an exam conflict, if you're usually first-year students don't, but if you know that you have a take-home exam and you're planning to go home and you need a time zone accommodation, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to come up with a reasonable accommodation as well. So just this is a little side note. It doesn't really apply to December exams. But in the future, during the winter term, if you have an assignment that is due and that you need to submit it to SAO assignments, we do ask you that you identify your file with the course name, the instructor name, the term, and your ID. These are for submissions that are semi-anonymous. If you need to have more information regarding electronic submission, you could always visit our website. So now we're going to talk about academic support here at the SAO. So whatever you need, an extension, a deferral during your exams, these December exams, we ask that you reach out to us, preferably the day before or the day of. If there are any extenuating circumstances, you're experiencing any illness, or there are family issues, or if there's a religious observance that you need us to provide an accommodation, reach out to us. Astrid and myself and Brittany are available. We're here for you. Book an appointment with us, and we can talk about reasonable accommodations. If you need to defer an exam, you need to complete the online form. You may have some friends in upper year and they get to fill out the Minerva form, but because first-year students, you have SPAN courses, which are courses that are offered year-long. Unfortunately, that option is not available, so you have to fill out the deferral form request, and the link is here on this website. For the extension, we also have a form that you can complete, but you could also send us an email regarding an extension. If you have any other academic needs that you need, if you think that you need to go part-time in the winter term, reach out to us. If something is happening in your life and you think that you may need a leave of absence, reach out to us as well. We're always here to talk to you. We're always here available and talk things through with you, provide options, and come up with a solution together for your studies here at the Faculty of Law. So the hot topic of the academic year is the COVID-19 academic accommodations. So the first thing, so really there are two paths to this. If you have COVID symptoms and you need to go get tested, please go get tested. Reach out to us, send us an email, you know, hi Brittany, I have COVID symptoms, I'm going to get tested, keep you posted, and then we'll come up with some sort of reasonable accommodation for your exam if you have an exam that day. If you do test positive for COVID, we ask that you complete the following steps. There's a tab on Minerva, you need to report it. You need to call the case management as such that they will assess the risk if you've been on campus. What usually happens is the Dean of Students will communicate with us, but it takes a while for the information to trickle to the faculty. So we ask that you tell us like right away, you know, especially during the exam period. And, you know, if you have an in-person exam and you have COVID symptoms or you've tested positive, let us know so that we can, we know that you won't be showing up in person or that you won't be taking the exam. And also that we can come up with a reasonable accommodation for you to either do your exam at a little later time or defer, depending on the situation in relation to your COVID results. And if you need more information, you could always visit the coronavirus health guidelines on the faculty, not the faculty, but the university website. And if you're not sure or you have any doubt, email the sao.law@mcgill.ca and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So now we're going to talk about the different types of exams that some of you will have, most of you with some exceptions, but I will give you the exceptions, or rather the exams that fall under each category. So you have your Examplify. These are your sit-down exams. So these are sit-down in person. You come to the faculty. You will have a room assigned, which will be available on our website shortly. And you come to the faculty. It's your traditional pre-COVID style exam. So here at the Faculty of Law, we give our students the opportunity to write exams on their laptops using the software Examplify. So you need to download this before your exams. Mock exams will be available as of Friday. You could come to our exam clinics and we can walk you through the process. Donc, l'utilisation du logiciel est pour rédiger les examens, c'est facultatif. Donc, vous avez le choix de soit utiliser le logiciel ou de rédiger vos examens à la main. So there are some students who do choose to handwrite their exam. It's totally up to you. Examplify is an exam software that blocks all other programs on your computer while it's running. You type into a standard word processor, and it's like computing in an electronic exam book. The paper questionnaire will be provided to you. And as far as I know, all first year exams, the in-person ones, are open book. So what this means is that Examplify doesn't lock you from your computer. It blocks access to the internet from the time of the exam, that the exam starts, but you have access to your files on your computer. So you'll be able to toggle back and forth from your computer files and Examplify. However, you won't have, because you don't have access to the internet, you won't have access to my courses. That's why we encourage you to save all your study notes, your lecture notes, references, or any document that is going to be useful to you during your exam on your computer before the day of the exam. So this is true for everything. Unlike previous versions, the spell check will be enabled in in Examplify. So then you have remote Examplify. So this is similar as in person, except you're at home. So what it does is it blocks your access from the internet. And this is where we ask for your academic integrity, not to use another device to access the internet. So what it does is you use Examplify, but you're writing your exam at home. And this will apply to students who are taking extra contractual obligation with Professor Ellis on December 16th from 9:30 to 1 p.m. So there's a little caveat here for the remote Examplify in terms of printing the exam questionnaire. So the exam questionnaire will be inside of the remote Examplify in PDF version, and you will be able to print it if you have obviously a printer accessible to you. And the same applies here. You will have access to all of your files on your computer if you have saved them accordingly. Then we have the take-homes. So there are different types of take-homes. You have your fixed take-home exams. An example of this are the contractual obligation exams that are available on a specific date, which is December 13, and they are from 9:30 to 1:30. So you download your exam on EXAMSOFT, which is a portal that you log into. You download your exam December 13 at 9:30. The clock starts counting down the moment you download it. You save it on your computer. You exit EXAMSOFT. You go do your exam, and then at about 1:25, you get ready, to upload your exam. If you have trouble uploading your exam because all three sections of contractual obligation will be doing the exam at the same time, it might cause some issues. You could always email your take-home exam to SAO just with a brief explanation saying I tried to upload on EXAMSOFT, it didn't work. Attached is my exam, and this way we have it time-stamped that you submitted on time. Moving on to the flexible take-home. So a flexible take-home is, the example here is the Indigenous legal tradition. So you have a specific period of time, which is December 7th to December 15th, to complete the exam. You could download it at any time. It doesn't have a specific time to complete it, but it's available as of 9:30 on December 7th, and it's due no later than December 15th at 3 p.m. And this one's the same thing. You download the exam on EXAMSOFT. When you're ready to submit, you upload it. If you have trouble, you send it to SAO assignments.law. And just again, a brief explanation that you weren't able to upload it. And this way we will have it time-stamped and it won't be submitted late. Okay. So then we have the flexible time take home. So the flexible time take home again is through EXAMSOFT. You have the whole exam period to complete it. So there are no examples here for first years. However, in upper year, you will have some examinations that are flexible time take home. So this is an exam that is available throughout the whole exam period. In this case, from December 7th to the 22nd. Your exam may have a timed or designated duration of 6 or 8 hours. So the moment you download it, say, halfway through the exam session, you decide, okay, today, the next 3 days, I don't have any exams, so I'm going to focus on this, on a specific exam. You download it, the countdown starts, it's 6 hours, you submit it 5 minutes before it's due, and it's done. So you can complete it at any time. That's the flexible take home. So any questions about the different types of exams? Some in the chat here. Yeah, so somebody is asking if the copy and paste option is available. Yes, it is. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll move on to during the exams. So if you're having difficulties, again, like I said, completing your exam, uploading it, or you downloaded the exam, but your computer crashed while it was downloading, so you didn't really get it, send us an email to sao.law in the subject line. In the subject line, you write urgent, we will get back to you. The Student Affairs Office here, during the exam period especially, we are available Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. You could reach us by email. Again, if it's anything related to your exam, put urgent. We will address it right away, and we'll come up with a reasonable accommodation for you. We will have our office hours up very shortly. So if you're at the faculty, you can stop by and see us during those office hours. And if you do decide to complete an exam on the weekend, or Friday evening, or any evening during the week for that matter, unfortunately the SAO staff is not available, but EXAMSOFT, they have a technical support line 24/7, and you can contact them at any time, either by email, and here you have their phone numbers to reach out to them if you're having technical issues outside of the SAO working hours. So we will be having 30-minute exam clinics for all students. Here we have 7 sessions for the first year students that you're welcome to drop in on. The Zoom links will be available shortly. As I mentioned earlier, the mock exams will be available as of the 19th as such, while we're holding our first exam clinic on that day. We will be sending out that information. You could drop in, ask your questions. We will be holding them until December 1st. Otherwise, you could always send us an email and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So now we're going to talk about exam codes. So here at the Faculty of Law, we use exam codes for the purpose of anonymity. So we have 2 sets. So we have midterm exam codes, which are 4-digit term specific, and then we have final exam codes, which are alpha. Now, I know it might be confusing for first year students because you're all like, oh, well, I'm writing a midterm in December, but really it's a final because all upper year students are writing final exams. So you will be using your final exam code, which is alpha, which will probably be ABCD in your case. The exam codes will be available, I believe they'll be available as of Wednesday, but no later than Friday, you'll be able to see them on Minerva. So like I said, they're under the student registration menu, and they're under your check your registration eligibility. So I believe if you go there now, you will see a 4-digit term specific, which is the midterm code. But as I said, as of Wednesday, you'll be able to see the alpha term. So an example, like I said, if your exam code is, ABCD, your password for EXAMSOFT and Examplify will be Law ABCD. Here we use the quadruple A's as the example. So not only is this for your anonymity, but also it becomes your password for EXAMSOFT and Examplify. Any questions about your exam codes? Okay, so let's
just a quick mention that there's some questions in the chat.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. Yes, you can. Okay, so there's a question here.
I could read them to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was sharing my screen, so I couldn't see them at the same time, but I see now. So, okay. So let's see here. There's from Michelle PS. Is a copy paste an option in Examplify?
Yes.
If we have questions during exam, but we don't have access to the internet, how do we contact our prof? So
I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. So you shouldn't be contacting your profs during the exams because it'll compromise your anonymity. So what you do is you need to send an email to sao.law. So I'm not quite sure about if you don't have access to the internet. You mean if you have a question during the exam? I mean, typically, so sorry, is this student in Professor Ellis's class?
Hi, sorry, I asked that question. It's just because you said that the internet will be blocked while you're actually in EXAMSOFT writing the exam.
Okay,
I might have.
Okay, so if you're in person and you're using Examplify, you won't have access to the internet. But if you have a question, you can ask the invigilator, and usually your instructor will be around to answer your questions. If you're at home and if you're doing Professor Ellis's remote Examplify where your internet is blocked, we'll have to come up with some sort of, you'll have to call the SAO, if you have a question. But for take-home exams that the internet is not blocked, you can send an email to the SAO.law, and we'll forward along your message. It's just because we ask that you, in order to maintain your anonymity, that you don't reach out to your instructor. And then we make that information available to other students as well.
Next question, can we access these slides after this meeting?
Yes, they'll be posted on our website.
Isn't constitutional law with Professor Shepard a flexible time take-home exam? You said we didn't. It is?
Well, it's because it's available from December 8th at 9:30 and it's due on December 10th at 5 p.m. But I believe it has a fixed duration.
Does the password change then between midterms and finals?
Yes, because your midterm exam code is 4-digit and your final is alpha.
And we have different codes every year, semester? Yes.
Every term, yes.
I also under the impression that Professor Yanda's towards exam is flexible time take-home exam.
Yes, so Professor Yanda's is available from December 7, 9 a.m. to December 14, 5 p.m. But again, I do believe this is a timed take home as well. So you may have like 4 hours to complete it within that period.
Some professors say it's okay to use another device that's not locked to look through online sources when it's an open book exam. What is this policy? Will it be in trouble if my courses monitors our activity?
Brittany, any thoughts on that? I think if it's open book and it's part of your class notes or your resources available to you, I don't see any problem, but Brittany, you may want to weigh in on this.
Yeah, I mean, if there should be something that can be like downloaded. If it's not something, I can't think of anything that couldn't be downloaded. But given the nature of open book exams are kind of the information that you bring with you. So some individuals choose to have a one summary, some choose to have, printed all of their notes. But it should be an open book exam, like you wouldn't have access to the internet in person, and you shouldn't have access to it at home either. So it should be documents that you can have on your computer. Let's say there's an online resource that is like a CBC article or something like that. You can download that onto your computer very easily. And we'll make sure that your professors know that they shouldn't ask that you need something that you need the internet for.
Thank you. So
Next,
Go ahead, Ashton.
Next question, if we have trouble submitting online, then with the remote take home, how can we submit an assignment with SAO assignments email with the internet blocked?
Okay, so with Examplify, when you're submitting, when you're submitting your exam, usually if you do the back button and then try to resubmit, you should get the green check. With Examplify, within 3 to 5 minutes, you're always able to upload the exam. And again, the SAO will be available to you by phone during this time, since the internet will be blocked and you won't be able to email us. I hope that answers that question. And then if all fails with Examplify and you're not able to submit, usually a reboot of your device will do the trick. And if you really had trouble and it crashed or something really went wrong and you didn't see the green check mark, please reach out to us, and then we will go retrieve it from our from the hard drive, because Examplify saves every 60 seconds. So we'll be able to access your exam.
Just to confirm, we use final code for the upcoming exams.
Correct.
Should we download exams in advance or only when we have decided to sit and write it?
Right. So for your take-home exam, for the ones that are fixed date, those you have to do on that specific date. But the ones that are not fixed date, that are flexible timed, those you should download when you're ready, because the countdown starts the moment that you download from EXAMSOFT.
So for Yanda and Shepherd's exams, which software would we be using? Is internet blocked for those two exams?
No, so this is through EXAMSOFT. So you log into the portal, you download your exam, you download it, you save it on your desktop or in My Documents, wherever you're going to remember that you saved it. You log out of the portal, you start writing your exam, you have access to your computer, you have access to internet. The internet is not blocked. It's a regular take-home exam. And then 5 minutes before you're ready to submit, you upload it you log back into the portal and you upload the exam.
I'm tempted to save a local copy of the exam as inputted in remote EXAMSOFT in case my computer crashes. Would this be against any policies?
I'm tempted to save. You would be able to, well, for any take-home exam, you have to download and save your exam. For the remote Exemplify, for the remote Exemplify with Professor Ellis, you will be able to print and save the PDF. For in-person exams, the questionnaire sheet will be handed to you and will be collected at the end of the exam.
Is it possible to get a demo of the computer programs we will need to use or have the steps to follow?
Yes, of course. So all the information is on our website. There are instructions how to use instructions for Exemplify, instructions for EXAMSOFT, sorry, and then we will have those exam clinics on those 7 dates. Astrid, I don't know if you can go back to it.
Yeah.
So if you want to drop into any of those, we would be happy to walk you through the process and answer all your questions.
Will the type of exam for each class will be available on Minerva or another site?
I'm
It's
sorry.
on our exam schedule. So will the type of exam for each class be available on Minerva or another site?
Yeah, so it's our exam schedule. I'm going to put it here on in the chat. So yeah, so our exam schedule has been updated with all the information that your instructors have provided to us. And if you have any questions, you can ask us, the SAO, or you could also reach out to your instructor at this time.
It is not specified on the document if Farhad's contract exam uses one of the softwares. Which one will we be using?
So Farhad is a flexible take home. So it starts at 9:30 on December 13th and it's due at 1:30. So if it doesn't say in-person Exemplify, that means it's a take home and it'll be on EXAMSOFT.
That's it for the questions in the chat.
Okay, so we'll continue. Okay, so the exam schedule, again, is posted on our website. I just shared it in the chat. If you have questions about your exams, ask your instructors now. Once classes are done, we encourage you to ask us your questions, otherwise it'll compromise your anonymity. The room location schedule will also be available on our website. We're currently working on that. We're trying to respect COVID measures as much as possible and to allow physical distancing between yourselves and the invigilators as well. For any related questions, again, related to exams, please let us know. If you'd like to meet with either myself, Brittany, or Astrid, book an appointment with us. As I mentioned, we will have more additional drop-in hours to meet with us coming soon. So in the exam rooms, the COVID guidelines are maintained. You have to wear your mask, disinfect your hands. All of those, what they call PPP measures, need to be respected. You need your McGill ID. You need to present it to the invigilator. You will be assigned a seat number, which is random selection, and this will change at every in-person exam. Your McGill ID and your seat card should always remain on the desk throughout the examination, and attendance will be taken within the first 15 minutes of the exam. And upon the completion of your exam, once you've submitted through Exemplify, or if you've handwritten and submitted your exam booklets to the invigilator, you must sign out. So students, you're not permitted to leave the examination room without the invigilator's permission. So if you need to use the facilities, or if you decide that you need 2 minutes to like step out because you need to breathe some fresh air, you need to raise your hand and the invigilator will assist you with that. Note that any bathroom breaks or any type of break outside of the examination room you do not get additional time added to your exam. And then until 1 hour after the examination has begun, you cannot, under no circumstances, leave before attendance has been taken. And during the last 15 minutes of the exam, you need to, even if you've completed your exam, you need to wait till the invigilator calls time and the exam is over. So during the last 15 minutes of the exam, all students remain seated until the invigilator is ready to collect the exam. Those are for those of you who handwrite, and you must sign out and return all exam materials. So that's the questionnaire and any scrap paper that you may have for those of you who type. Invigilators have been instructed to report the names of students who don't respect the policy. So the invigilator in the exam room keeps and is the official timekeeper. He or she will announce the start and end time of the exam. They usually write on the board or on the smart board the time and how much time is left to the exam. And when the invigilator calls the time or announces the end of the exam, you must stop typing and writing. So once the invigilator says, okay, it's 12:30, time's up, you stop your exam, you do one last save, and you submit your exam. So that part does not count as part of your exam time. That's finalizing the submission part. Again, invigilators have been instructed to report the students who continue to type after the exam, the end of the exam time has been announced. This is a serious offense, and it won't be tolerated by the Student Affairs Office nor your peers. So under no circumstances should students contact your instructors in relation to their exams. So if you have questions, ask them now, reach out to them. If you have a question regarding the duration of Professor Shepard's exam or Professor Yanda's, do it now. They will be able to answer your questions. During the exam period, reach out to us and we will ask the questions for you and get back to you. If there's anything major, we will share it with the rest of the class, especially if there's been, some sort of error or typo or something, especially during the exam. So you're not supposed to discuss the exam with your instructor or any other instructor or your peers. If you have questions, just reach out to the Student Affairs Office. After the exam, until grades have been released, contact the SAO for any questions or concerns that you may have. So during the exam, the only device that you should bring with you or should have with you is your laptop, and Examplify on your laptop to write your to type your exam. Your cell phone, your iPod, your Fitbit, your smartwatches, they should all be either in your locker or in your bag or your coat that is to be left at the entrance or on the side of the exam room. Again, if you're found with any of these additional electronic devices, the invigilators will report you to the SAO. Donc, le jour de l'examen, ce qui est important pour vous, c'est évidemment votre carte d'étudiant de McGill, votre ordinateur portable, votre câble d'alimentation. Si vous avez besoin d'une rallonge, nous ici à la faculté de droit, nous avons des rallonges supplémentaires. Donc, les surveillants vont nous aviser si vous avez besoin d'une corde, if you need an extension cord. La version papier de tous les matériels autorisés durant votre examen, si vous désirez les amener. Autrement, les examens sont tous à livre ouvert, donc vous allez avoir accès à ces documents électroniquement sur votre ordinateur. Et comme j'ai mentionné, you can toggle back and forth. Donc, on vous demande de vous présenter à la salle d'examen au moins 15 minutes à l'avance. Ça va donner la chance aux surveillants de vérifier votre identité et également, quand vous allez à votre place désignée, just to set up your laptop, get ready, get comfortable, et it won't cause like a bottleneck at the door of the exam. On vous demande également, dès que vous êtes à votre place, branchez votre ordinateur. Si vous avez besoin de démarrer votre ordinateur également et de suivre les instructions données par le surveillant d'examen. Donc, pendant l'examen, si vous avez des problèmes techniques et que votre laptop crash, on vous demande d'aviser le surveillant tout de suite. Si vous n'êtes pas capable de résoudre le problème en démarrant l'ordinateur, ça prend entre 3 et 5 minutes. Habituellement, ça fonctionne, mais si votre ordinateur est vraiment capote, ce que je vous dis, c'est que vous devez écrire à la main. Le surveillant va vous donner un exam booklet et là, vous continuez votre examen à la main. Ce qui arrive avec Examplify, c'est que ça sauve votre travail à tous les 60 secondes, donc à la minute. Et nous allons, à la fin de l'examen, nous allons pouvoir aller chercher l'examen et le mettre avec ce que vous avez dirigé à la main. Donc, so if you're not able to solve the problem within the first 5 minutes by restarting your laptop and relaunching Examplify, don't waste time with that. Continue to write your exam by hand because additional time will not be given to you if you try to troubleshoot your laptop that crashed for more than 5 minutes. All right, so before we go to the first year midterm grades, we'll answer any other questions you may have. Astrid?
Yeah, so let's see here. So in the case of indigenous legal tradition, is the progress saved if we close the program and then reopen it on another day to continue the exam, or do we need to complete the entire exam in one sitting?
No, so with indigenous legal tradition, so if you want, you can go and download indigenous legal tradition on Tuesday, December 7 at 9:30. So you download the exam, you save it on your desktop, you log out of EXAMSOFT, and you have your exam. So you have from December 7 until December 15 to complete this exam. There's no set duration to it. You could complete it at any time during this whole period. You know, you can work on it, you know, sporadically throughout, you know, December 7th and the 15th, but it's due on the 15th at 3 p.m.
How can students get access to computers if their computer does not support the exam writing software, such as the Macs running on the M1 chips, or students have already updated to Big Sur?
Okay, so we do have, we will be sending out an email about this, but McGill Central does have a limited amount of laptops available to borrow. So an email will be sent out with the procedure on how to go. Brittany has also suggested or reminded me that pre-pandemic, you could always, if you have a timed exam, you could always use the computers at the library as an option. And if you're really stuck and you don't, or you know, you can't borrow another laptop or a computer or a desktop from a family member or a friend, reach out to us and we'll see how we can help you.
Hi, just to confirm, for EXAMSOFT for take-home exams, we open the software, download the exam, close EXAMSOFT, do the exam on a Word document, and then reopen EXAMSOFT and submit it there?
Yes.
So just so we are clear, indigenous legal traditions and Yanda don't cut off internet.
Correct, because these are take-homes. You download the exam, you save it on your desktop, you log out of the portal, you go work on your exam, and when it's ready to submit, you log back in the portal and you upload your exam. So I encourage you all of you who have these, you know, these very specific questions, come to one of our exam clinics. Once we run a mock together, you'll be like, oh my goodness, this is so straightforward. You just have to run a mock in order to understand how the system works. So we invite you to come join us and ask your questions, and we'll be happy to walk you through a take-home exam on EXAMSOFT. We could do a mock there, then we could do another mock on Exemplify. You know, and again, and if you have additional questions, you could always come and see us during our office hours, or send us an email and we could arrange an in-person meeting to walk you through the process, or by Zoom, whatever works for you.
No more questions, Josie.
Okay, so let's continue with Brittany about first year December grades.
Yes, perfect. So I'll start with the technical information and then talk to you about what you should think about these grades. So you'll have access to view your grades for a 2-week period in January. You'll get emails about it, but everyone's grades will be released at the same time. And they're posted as a class list by exam code. These grades are not final grades, and they are intended only to provide you with feedback and provide your instructors as well with feedback, given that the majority of your classes are year-long courses. And the SAO doesn't provide any written notice of these grades. So I think this is really important to acknowledge. This is your first semester in law school. Regardless of where you're coming from or the kind of information that you've had before, the learning that you've had before, it is very different and very unique. So give yourself grace. I mean, this is, 2 months from now that you'll actually get these grades. But even in entering your exam period, like, do not put all of your eggs in the, first year midterm grade basket. It is a time for you to be able to learn how well you have been learning, what you need to change, what what's working, what's not. But this is not a be all and end all in any way, shape, or form. So, the first year grades matter obviously more, but really these midterm grades are a chance for you to basically have a conversation with yourself about, what's working and what's not, and your professors are using that in the same way. And so it is their, intention not to make something, incredibly difficult or weed people out. It's really a check-in, basically, to be able to learn more about how well you are learning. Yeah, just to know that the final grade for first year courses is visible on Minerva. So, the midterms for first year are by class list, and then Minerva for your final year grades. So the next slide, the faculty does not impose a curve, but we do kind of insist that class averages for larger upper year courses is a B, smaller upper year courses is a B or B plus, and for first year courses, which is going to be most important to you all, is a B minus or B. This is, to ensure, amongst other things, fairness, consistency, and transparency. So, and I know this full well because I admitted all of you. You are all very smart. You are all high achieving students. And I remember quite well the feeling when I checked in January after my first, after midterm grades, and it was surprising to see some of the letters that were there. Do not see these grades as a kind of a reflection of like who you are. It is just, as I said already, it's just a check-in. And it's important to acknowledge that the averages are going to be around a B minus or B. Many of you will not be used to seeing this letter on your transcripts. And it'll be an adjustment, but it is not saying if you see these letters, that's good. If you don't see these letters and see something that is less, that's just a check-in for you to say like, okay, what do I need to change? What needs to be different? How can I better support myself? What supports do I need? As it says there, while individual assignments, quizzes, and examinations may be easier or more difficult, we expect those teaching the course to ensure that the average is always going to be around the same place. So no one class over another is going to have something that is exceptionally difficult or exceptionally easy. They're always going to be around, we're always going to make sure that we're falling around those averages so that no one student or a group of students is disadvantaged because they have this professor or that professor. And if we go to the next slide, there's just a quick breakdown of grades. So this is kind of to let you know what the grades translate to in grade point average. And for the kind of like breakdowns, compulsory courses, passing grades are anywhere between an A and a C, and then failing grades are D and an F. And just important to note that D is a failing grade only for a compulsory course. And complementary and elective courses will have passing grades anywhere between an A and a D, and a failing grade, as I said, is going to be an F. And then if we go to the next one, yeah, so about academic integrity. Josie spoke about this already, but it's really important that you respect academic integrity, not only because, it's important, or like not only because you're not going to get in, you're going to get in trouble, but also because, if you're not able to complete the work yourself, then, you're kind of cheating yourself out of ensuring that you know what you're doing. So, in terms of what academic integrity means, it means independent work, no communicating with any person during an exam, regardless of whether you're in person or at home, not divulging the context of the exam to anyone afterwards, and not submitting work that was prepared in collaboration with others where it was not allowed. I mean, obviously, group exams or something else, and though you don't have those, but kind of group work during an exam period that is not explicitly allowed is strictly prohibited. And it's really important to just be aware of these rules. The slides will go out to you later, so you'll be able to click this hyperlink, which has the Code of Student Conduct. So you're fully aware of the things that are allowed and are not allowed. Of course, especially in first year, there might be times where you're studying as a group. Of course, that's allowed, and sometimes that's incredibly helpful. But the second that you are working on something that is going to be graded and you're working with other people, those are things that compromise your academic integrity, and then can lead to discipline and things like that. So I would highly suggest everyone just take a quick look at these at the Code of Student Conduct so you understand, because we don't want you to make the mistake of kind of not having the full information when you're going into this first exam period. I don't know if anyone had any questions about grades. How do we know which grades are assist? The professor should tell you, like it'll be in your course outline. Great. So I'll pass it back over to you, Joseph.
Okay, sorry, I just see a question. Did we answer this question? So just so we're clear, oh yes, we did. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to talk about our wellness advisors. So yes, we say advisors here. We had two. One is on maternity leave, so they're still looking for a replacement. But thus far, we have Shrabani, who is our local wellness advisor here at the Faculty of Law. She is available for you. You can also go to the Student Wellness Hub. There are professionals there as well to help you with professional mental health professionals who can help you. Again, we have one here at the Faculty of Law. You know, she's available to you. They equip you with tools and resources. You know, to help you manage your time, and you know, if you're feeling stressed or you have anxiety, you know, surrounding the exams. If there's something a little bit more chronic that you're experiencing, then we direct you to the OSD office. But otherwise, Shrabani is great, or any other advisor at the Student Wellness Hub are available for you with appointment. I do know that they are taking in-person more than setting up Zoom meetings, but they are available for one-on-one appointments. So what Shrabani says during exams is, you know, we all want to like study, but it's so important to take breaks, and it's so important, you know, to, you know, sit down with your family or your partner, you know, or your friends, and, you know, just have a meal, and, you know, just to kind of like step away and, you know, keep things in perspective, and, you know, do a self check-in and be like, okay, you know, how am I feeling today? You know, think about, you know, how you're feeling and what's going on. And if it does get overwhelming, you know, reach out to the Student Affairs office, reach out to Shrabani, book an appointment. It's always good to talk to someone who can provide you with resources and coping mechanisms and tools, you know, just to kind of alleviate some of that stress that you're feeling surrounding exams. So we open up the floor to all your questions. Feel free to unmute yourselves, ask questions in the chat.
There's a question here. How do we know which grades are assist?
So you have to ask your instructors, or it should be available in the course outline. Okay, so okay, midterm exam codes and final exam codes. Okay, I get it. It's because maybe it was my fault if I mixed you. So because your first year courses are offered from September to May, a lot of your peers and a lot of your instructors will say that your December exams are midterms, but really they're not. They are final exams because it's happening during the final exam period. So because of that, you have to use your final exam code, and the final exam code is alpha. So it's a 4-letter code, which could be A, B, C, D as an example. And your midterm code, you don't have this in first year, but in upper year, you may have a midterm exam. And in that case, you will use your midterm code, which is a 4 digits. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we use exam codes for the purpose of anonymity. I hope that answers your question.
It does, thank you.
Oh, okay, so the exam code, the final exam codes are already available. That's excellent, great.
Thanks, Dante. Any other questions?
I'll just add a quick.
Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
Oh yeah, I'll add a quick note to say that like you don't have to remember everything that Josie shared today. Again, we're going to be sharing the PowerPoint. A lot of the information is on our website, and also would definitely recommend that you go to at least one of the exam clinics just to familiarize yourself. But ultimately, like, don't worry too much about the technical side of exams. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say worry about your classes, but like concentrate on your courses, concentrate on, you know, understanding and learning whatever it is that you need to learn in time for these exams in December. And, you know, where you don't have the kind of like brain space to be able to tackle the technical part, we will help you as much as is possible. And yeah, the exam clinics are on Zoom.
Yes, the links, I'll be working on the links tomorrow, so they'll be on our website very shortly. And we will send, Astrid will send a reminder to all first year students that the PowerPoint, the recording of this info session, and the Zoom links, when they will be available. So stay tuned for that. So Astrid, do we just want to go to the last slide to promote our last challenge?
Yes.
So we wish you all luck. We know it's not easy, but it'll be worth it, and you will all be okay, and you'll all do fine. And we're here to answer your questions, to support you, to provide accommodations, and we will be available to the best of our capabilities for you. So our last challenge of the year, as you've been seeing throughout the Ask All term. Astrid, can you go to the last page? Oh. So yeah, so it's our McGill Law Spirit. So send us your pics, your pictures with your favorite McGill gear. Send it to us. We will post it, and you'll be part of a draw, and you can win one of our adjustable face masks, as you can see here, that our friends have been wearing the masks correctly over their heads and playing with it, and just abiding by COVID rules. Any other questions? Okay, then, well, we wish you all luck. And again, if you have questions, email us or come see us during our office hours, Monday to Thursday from 10:30 to 2:30 for now. And stay tuned for updated front counter office hours, as they will change as we get closer and into the exam period.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining.